Hello, teacher.
Monday,
Monday,
Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Friday,
Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday.
On Friday, I drink tea.
On Friday, I drink tea.
On Sunday, I play tennis.
On Sunday, I play tennis.
On Thursday, I wash my hair.
On Thursday, I wash my hair.
On Tuesday, I call my friend.
On Tuesday, I call my friend.
On Saturday, I eat ice cream.
On Saturday, I eat ice cream.
On Monday, I listen to music.
On Monday, I listen to music.
On Wednesday, I do homework.
On Wednesday, I do homework.
On Tuesday, he plays basketball.
On Tuesday, he plays basketball.
On Sunday, he fixes his computer.
On Sunday, he fixes his computer.
On Monday, he washes his car.
On Monday, he washes his car.
On Saturday, he has a barbecue.
On Saturday, he has a barbecue.
On Wednesday, he rides his bike.
On Wednesday, he rides his bike.
On Thursday, he plays video games.
On Thursday, he plays video game.
On Friday, he eats popcorn.
On Friday, he eats popcorn.
On Friday,
On Friday,
she listens to music.
she listens to music.
On Monday,
On Monday,
he plays video games.
he plays video game.
On Thursday,
On Thursday,
he fixes computers.
he fixes computer.
On Wednesday,
On Wednesday,
she plays tennis.
she plays tennis.
On Tuesday,
On Tuesday,
she eats ice cream.
she eats ice cream.
Tuesday, Sunday, Thursday, Wednesday, Saturday, Friday. On Wednesday, she goes running.
On Wednesday, she goes running.
On Tuesday, she paints pictures.
On Tuesday, she paints picture.
On Thursday, she uses a telescope.
On Thursday, she is a telescope.
On Sunday, she chats on her phone.
On Sunday, she chats on her phone.
On Monday, she has an online meeting.
On Monday, she has an online meeting.
On Saturday, she goes ice skating.
On Saturday, she goes ice skating.
On Friday, she has her fingernails painted.
On Thursday, she has her fingernails painted.
On Tuesday, I play on my phone.
On Tuesday, I play on my phone.
On Sunday, I play cards.
On Sunday, I play cards.
On Wednesday, I go shopping.
On Wednesday, I go shopping.
On Monday, I browse the internet.
On Monday, I browse the internet.
On Thursday, I work in a coffee shop.
On Thursday, I work in a coffee shop.
On Saturday, I climb mountains.
On Saturday, I climb mountain.
On Friday, I make a sandwich.
On Thursday, I make a sandwich.
On Tuesday, he makes a sandwich.
He makes a sandwich.
On Saturday, she uses a telescope.
She uses a telescope.
On Sunday, she has her fingernails painted.
She has a fingernail painted.
On Friday, he plays cards.
He plays cards.
On Thursday, she paints pictures.
She paints pictures. Monday,
Sunday, Tuesday,
Friday,
Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. On Wednesday, we watch TV.
On Wednesday, we watch TV.
On Sunday, we hang out with friends.
On Sunday, we hang out with friends.
On Monday, we share a pizza with friends.
On Monday, we share a pizza with friends.
On Tuesday, we have a cooking class.
On Tuesday, we have a cooking class.
On Friday, we do science experiments.
On Friday, we do science.
On Friday, we do science experiments.
On Friday, we do second experiments.
On Saturday, we get a coffee.
On Saturday, we get a coffee.
On Thursday, we sing karaoke.
On Thursday, we sing karaoke.
On Monday, they play football.
On Monday, they play football.
On Wednesday, they tidy up.
On Wednesday, they tidy up.
On Sunday, they have dinner.
On Sunday, they have dinner.
On Tuesday, they play board games.
On Tuesday, they play board game.
On Friday, they walk in the countryside.
On Friday, they walk in the countryside.
On Saturday, they study Spanish.
On Saturday, they study Spanish.
On Thursday, they join a book club.
On Thursday, they join a book club.
On Saturday, they join a book club.
They join a book club.
On Monday, they have a cooking class.
They have a cooking class.
On Sunday, they hang out with friends.
They hang out with friends.
On Wednesday, they sing karaoke.
They sing karaoke.
On Tuesday,
On Tuesday,
they do science experiments.